called Dianchi, and we're on this. It's like a dam part of the lake, and I'm going to walk to that mountain. That's called Xishan West Mountain. People say it looks like a recumbent woman sleeping. So you see the head, chest, I guess a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to walk the length of this pier or dam, which is probably around maybe a mile and a half. And then to the bottom of the Xishan, and then I'm going to climb up maybe halfway and take some photos from up there. It's a nice hike going up and down, and it's good exercise also. So take you guys along with me. So this is Dianchi. It's really a huge body of water. Once I get to the top of the mountain, I shoot down from there. You can sort of see the scale of the lake. It's not a Minnesota Thousand Lakes kind of size, but it's still impressive. So this lake it's had an interesting history. There was maybe 20 years ago a lot of development around here. Before, these were just sort of a lake and a lot of wetlands. And all this new urban development sort of happened. All these apartments and houses got built over there. You can see across the lake. And this lake became really polluted. And there was also an algae infestation that happened. So for the last 20 years, the government has been making a lot of effort to try to remove the pollution or at least mitigate it. I'm not sure what's the science behind algae, but basically you have all this green algae that develops in the lake. It sort of clogs up the lake, and I guess the lack of oxygen kills all the wildlife, all the fish. But for years and years, it's always been sort of the topic of discussion. How are they cleaning up Dianchi Lake? Nowadays, at least it doesn't look as bad. The water looks fairly clean, and so whatever efforts they've been putting into it has been working. I know a lot of money's been spent on it, so this area is also really popular because, like I said before about Green Lake in the center of the city, it's sort of a habitat for these seagulls. For the winter, they migrate from Siberia, and you can see just thousands and thousands of them during the winter months flying here. So it's really well-known spot that people come from all over the country to come and see. Now we're approaching summer, so it's not here, but I'll show a clip of it that I took when I was here. in the wintertime. Before, this dam was just all clear, not much on here, but now I guess they're building all these shops and such. These are like old posters from the 60s, looks like. Kind of interesting. Those boats out there are, at least the old junk boats, purely decorative, I think. But you can take a ferry for a tour the lake. You can see one there. A lot of these shops, I don't know if are they permanent or are they just temporary. They seem to be commemorating the olden days. Today's Friday, so it's still a weekday. You're not getting that many people here. But come Saturday, especially Sunday, you're going to have thousands and thousands of a crowd. This is one of the spots they sort of advertise for Yunnan tourism for people to come here. So people from all over, especially from the north and northeast. Interesting statue next to the lake. Some looks like Chinese scholars from the good old days. You know, back then wine always has been associated with learning. So we have walked the length of the pier or dam or the side of the river. So now we are almost at the foot of the mountain. And you can see there's a cable car system that goes up. If you wanted to take the easy route. We're not going to do that. These trees are kind of interesting. They're growing out of the wetland down here. But in order to put in this sidewalk, this boardwalk, they have to make all these square holes to accommodate the trees. See, as they get bigger, they sort of push the boards apart. Lots of wildlife along this lake. See lots of swans and other birds. On a weekday, if you wanted a relatively peaceful place to be in Kunming, you can do worse than to come out here. So that was about a half-hour hike up. We're at the midpoint of West Mountain, up the West Mountain, and here we get a nice view of Dianchi Lake. So as you can see, it's a huge lake. That's the Kunming city over there. And yeah, it's a really nice view up here, and you don't get many people coming this way, so it's really pleasant. That's the other side. Nice weather today. So that isthmus there is where I walked from, and that straight part is the big, the flat dam, straight dam that I walked on and filmed the earlier part of this video, and then walked over and walked along this little isthmus to the bottom of the mountain here and started climbing. So yeah, it's a huge body of water, Dianchi Lake. So those of you visiting, this is kind of a hidden gem, because most people, they come up West Mountain from the front. This is the back of the West Mountain. The front, there's where the cable cars go, and there's a shuttle bus that shuttles people up from the bottom and takes them down. So everybody's on the other side, and you got a lot of people every time. But here, you have the mountain to yourself, and yeah, you can do a nice hike, get some good exercise, and really nice view. All right, I will continue on. All right, we're back to Dianchi, so nice view of the whole lake from here. Well, not the whole lake. You can't even see behind these trees. It goes on for more. But yeah, very quiet and nobody around today. So weekday afternoon, nobody around. So I'm gonna take a break here before hiking the rest of the way up to the top. Maybe now's a good opportunity to tell you my theory about starting this YouTube channel. Basically, I was reading Ulysses, James Joyce, Ulysses, and I thought, I like the way it's done. Sort of, he just all these characters walking around the city, and you sort of listen to what's going on in their heads and what they observe. And so I thought maybe since I'm traveling around Asia a lot, the idea of Ulysses in Asia, I can just go around these cities and talk about whatever I want and whatever I see. So that's the germ of the idea for this YouTube channel. But then there's the other question is, people have been asking since the book came out, it's that it ends leaving all these questions sort of hanging in the air about what's going to happen to these characters, right? At the end, you have the famous soliloquy by Molly. She says yes and yes and yes. So does that mean she's going to, she and Leopold going to resume their nuptial relations after this? Is that something, the start of something new? And what's going to happen to Stephen Dedalus? We're just all curious, right? Is he going to become a newspaper man? Is he going to realize his literary ambitions? Leopold offered him, to come live in the house. Molly can give him singing lessons because he's such a wonderful singer, and he can give Molly Italian lessons. So all these things sort of goes unanswered. So here's my idea for a Hollywood pitch session for Ulysses, the sequel. And so fast forward 20 years. Fast forward 20 years, and it turns out, Stephen Dedalus has basically sold out. You open with a scene in Hollywood, like a Burbank Studios. He's working for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and he's sold out. He's a screenwriter writing these kind of cheesy Dick Tracy detective novels, pulp detective novels, and screenplays. And so what I'm thinking is, if you can get Cillian Murphy, it would be perfect. Cillian Murphy, 20 years on, Stephen Dedalus. But he gets this letter. He gets this letter from Ireland, from back home, and it's from Molly. So it turns out, after the end of the book, Ulysses, Dedalus accepts Leopold's offer, and he sort of stays at the house for a while, and he does his he gets his singing lessons from Molly, and Molly gets Italian lessons from Stephen. And so Molly writes this letter saying, hey, long time no see. It's been like 15, 20 years. But Leopold just passed away. Leopold just, and it, so all those pork kidneys for breakfast really finally caught up with him. And Leopold's passed. And Molly hints that during Stephen's stay at the house, one night, one drunken night, they had a sort of a tryst. And, subsequently, a young kid was born, now a young man, 15, 20 years later. And Molly hints that this young man could be Stephen Dedalus' son. So, of course, this prompts all this soul searching, and Dedalus takes the next boat back to Ireland, and of course you get all the drama of a lot of soul searching, a lot of search for Irish heritage, a lot of father-son kind of reconciliation, redemption. All sorts of things that can develop from this story. Might be cliched, but yeah. So you can cast the other characters. All you need is the from the Banshees of Inisherin, the same actors. You get Colin Farrell. You get Brandon Gleeson. Brandon Gleeson can play sort of Leopold Bloom on his deathbed. Kind of you can give a little speech or two, and you can have Colin Farrell. Of course, Colin Farrell can be like a Buck Mulligan. He can make a special appearance. Buck Mulligan. He's like he's 40. He's overweight. He's alcoholic, and he's selling insurance. He's an insurance salesman. He can get his his chubby physique from Lobster, circa 2009 or something. That'll be perfect. So there's your main characters. Molly Bloom can be, of course, she has to be played by. I can never pronounce her name. What's her name? Saoirse Ronan. She'll be perfect. She'll be perfect for the role. So there you go. That's my idea for a Ulysses sequel. What do you guys think? If any, any Hollywood independent indie executive out there who's listening, give me a call. Let's do lunch. All right. Okay, so here's a last glimpse of Dianchi Lake, people. And enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers. We'll get a close-up of the city. All right, catch you guys in the next one.